Hi, and welcome to Light the Way, where we talk about the moon and planetary energies around us and show us how they are lighting the way for how we can live a life aligned with the energies of the universe. It's guidance that helps us focus. Our lives are so busy, and there's always a lot going on. And it's not that we stop doing what needs to be done. It's that each week we hone in on the brightest path being lit and make it our priority. And throughout the year, each area of life touches each of the four moon phases, so we get our balance throughout the year as we live like this. This is the week of December 29th, 2024 through January 4th, 2025. The moon phase for this week is a new moon in Capricorn, and it is happening on December 30th at 3:27 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, there is a three-step process to working with each of the moon phases. For the new moon, the first step is to find the area of your life being activated. When you look at your chart, what area of life does Capricorn represent for you? Now, if you don't know, hop on over to my website, lauracusto.com, pop in your information. I will send you a free 14-day trial of Moon Chat, which will give you the area of life being activated for every single moon phase. Step 2, get your bearings. So what we want to do next is take that area of life being activated, which, by the way, it could be financial, it could be partnerships, it could be career, it could be communication, it could be spirituality or health. Again, 12 different areas of life. But you're going to take the area of life that's being activated for you, and you're going to look at a couple of dates that are giving us some guidance for how we can best work with this energy. So the first date is a look back to April 1st, 2024. This is the last time that there was a last quarter moon in Capricorn. And last quarters represent a time of harvest and releasing. So you want to look back and see, did you take action around that date towards ending anything? Again, especially in the area of life being activated. The second date is June 29th, 2026. This is a look ahead about 18 months. And that is the date for the full moon in Capricorn that this new moon is related to. And what I mean by that, the new moon and all of the moon phases are akin to working with a garden. And the new moon is when you actually plant the seeds. So you put them in the ground. What you do is you express your intentions and your deepest desires, but you seed them in the ground. Then we have the first quarter moon where you nurture them, you water them, give them some fertilizer. And then on the full moon, you see the results. You see the bloom, or you see what happened, right? Maybe it doesn't always bloom. Maybe your dreams don't always come out exactly what you thought. So what you want to do is think about that June 29th, 2026 date and this area of life. And this is for more long-term planning. So again, maybe you have, maybe it's in your area of partnerships and you really want to get married. So that could be a date 18 months from now where you set an intention maybe to get married, to have the wedding, or perhaps it is to have a partner by then, to get engaged or just be in a serious relationship. Maybe it falls in your fifth house of children and you want to have a baby. Again, something big to plan for. Career moves, financial moves, buying a house, selling a house, things like that. Then step 3. Step 3 is to actually sit down and set your intentions. Now, here is what I like to do. I like to take some time on the day of the new moon or the day prior or the day after to get quiet and really allow myself to dream. I'll do some freeform journaling, or I'll take a walk alone in nature. I might go outside and go for a hike. I might do some yoga. Getting your body moving is helpful because what you want to do is get out of your thinking day-to-day, go mind, and you want to just start to feel. And by getting my body moving, I find that that helps. Then as the moon begins to wax, meaning it starts to get bigger, it's right when you can start to see the faintest sliver of it. It's starting to become physical. That is the time to put pen to paper. And it's important to write it physically down, to not type it, because that engages your subconscious mind. And the subconscious or unconscious mind is another way you might know it, controls 95% of the brain's activity. And we want as much of ourselves on board with our intentions as possible. So what you do is you sit down and you physically write your intentions down, and you write them in the present tense as if they have already happened. Now, I use Moon Chat and I use the journals within the Moon Chat system specifically as I do this. And I also use them electronically. So what I do is I physically write them down and then I will go ahead and type them in a second time to make sure that I've got them where I need them. All right. Now I want to mention the energies around this new moon. So when I looked at the charts for this week and specifically right around this date of the new moon, which again is December 29th. Sorry, December 30th. December 30th, 3:27 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. What we have going on is we have some planetary aspects that are dissipating, meaning they're still active, but they're separating. And then we have another set of planetary energies that are coming together. And so that first set is one that I talked about last week, the ones that are separating. And it is Jupiter opposing Mercury and squaring Saturn. Now, what I mean by that is if you take the astrology wheel, it's a circle. Jupiter and Mercury are at opposite ends of the wheel. They're in two signs directly across from each other. And we talked about that in the video last week, so I won't rehash it too much. But essentially, where they're at, they're sort of having this push pull and this debate over the facts of life and the meaning of life. And they're also in one another's signs, meaning Jupiter is sitting in a sign that Mercury rules, and Mercury is sitting in a sign that Jupiter rules. So they're not at home, but they can kind of talk to each other and help each other out, if that makes sense. Now, their opposition is pretty weak. It's definitely moving out of its activation stage. It's 5 degrees off from being exact, which is definitely starting to dissipate. So this energy isn't as active as it was last week. The other energy that's active is Saturn is sitting at a right angle. Essentially, if Jupiter and Mercury are here and here, Saturn is right down here. It's making what's called a T square, a T between the two of them. And that square, that angle specifically between Jupiter and Saturn is still pretty close because these planets move pretty slowly. And so this energy is probably the most active energy that you will be feeling during the new moon. And what that energy looks like is Jupiter is this planet of expansion, growth, and just wanting to go on an adventure. And Saturn is the planet of responsibility and rules, process, regulation. And so the way that that energy comes out is, you know, you want to do something, but then there's someone sort of standing in your way. And so within the collective, we might be feeling this in our relationships with other people. We might also be just feeling it in ourselves. It's this, I want to do this, but well, maybe I can't. And so I would really encourage you to keep that in mind as you're going through this new moon, and especially with it being in Capricorn, because Saturn rules Capricorn. And at the new moon, you're really being called to dream big and get some big, big dreams out there. And so to work with this Saturn energy, I would say let's lean into the sign that the moon is in, and the sun is in Capricorn too. They're together at a new moon. And with Capricorn intentions, it helps if you do have an element of structure, of planning, of being really specific. So again, setting some firm dates in mind, and as you write those new moon intentions in the present tense, to be really specific. It's okay to lean into specifics. And I think that when you do that, you will probably, because of the energies available to you in the collective, you'll be able to naturally lean into your Jupiterian big, big, big dreams, perhaps a little bit easier. So keep that in mind as you're writing down your intentions. Now, as we move on into the week, we have a couple of other things happening. The first one is on the 2nd of January, right after the new year. Venus enters Pisces. Now, this is absolutely lovely. First of all, Venus is a lovely planet. It is one of the two benefics. Venus and Jupiter are the benefics. And when Venus goes into Pisces, it is in what is called its exaltation, meaning it is in a place that it just loves to be. And the energies of Pisces work so well with the energies of Venus. And so when Venus is in Pisces, it's generally considered as being something very positive for the world. It signifies a heightened capacity for compassion, for unconditional love, artistic expression, and just really deeply understanding others. So it can lead to a lot of harmony and beauty in the world. So keep that in mind. Venus will be in Pisces for most of the month of January. It moves pretty quickly, but really enjoy these next few weeks where Venus is in Pisces. Lean into that kind of. Pisces is a very dissolving. It's the mutable water sign, and mutable means sort of ever changing and ever flowing. Piscean energy, in the terms of water, has been explained to me before as sort of the tides coming in and out, and maybe those little water pools that are left remaining when the tide goes out. So it's a time to just really lean into, kind of what you take pleasure in, letting your body flow with it, go with it, and just know that as you're doing that during these next few weeks with Venus and Pisces, Venus is up there in Pisces and it's really just supporting that. So allow yourself to do it. Really, there's, you know, one time every probably 6 to 8 months or so where you get this opportunity. Okay. Then we move into Mars opposed Pluto. So that is happening the very next day on the 3rd. And this is the other planetary energy that I was alluding to when I mentioned that there was one set of energies that was waning and one that was waxing, one that was getting to become more exact. And that's this Mars opposed Pluto. This is going to be active at the time of the new moon on the 30th, but it won't be exact until the 3rd. Still, you will feel it because it's building and it's building and it's building. So, Mars opposed Pluto for the first time in early November, right before the US election. And now Mars has gone retrograde and it is going to be making its second direct opposition with Pluto. Um, Mars opposed Pluto can be described as sort of this energy of I want what I want and I want it now and I want it how I want it. Again, it's very demanding. It's an energy that, as you might imagine, can be very detrimental if you're not aware of it and you're not using it right. Now, all energies can be used for good. And so when I think of the Mars opposed Pluto, I think of just a lot of determination. So it is great energy that you can use to fuel you. And again, if I think about that Capricorn, we have a new moon in Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Saturn loves structure. It likes rules. It likes protocol. And so this Mars opposed Pluto, if you harness that determination to have focus and drive, and again, new moon, you it really is great to get specific in your intentions, and especially in Capricorn, because Capricorn loves specifics. So use that Mars Pluto opposition to give you that extra fuel, even if you're not really feeling it, right? Think about that. Like, oh, I don't really feel like getting specific. Well, maybe it's worth it to do a little extra research. Maybe, if you want to set some specific intentions around some very specific things related to finance or career, or, I'm going to even throw it out there, maybe like relationships or finding a mate or having a baby. Go find some statistics on certain things. X% of people that are between my age range, find their partner within X number of months or something, or you know what I mean? But fuel your intentions with data points and statistics and get dreamy around that. It's a little corny and a little geeky. I've definitely been known to be that way. It's this combination of the engineer in me and this spiritual love that I have. So, but it's a great time to do all of this and lean into this. And then another thing I would also argue, this is right after the new year. It's a time when when we're all there, New Year's intentions are very popular. So this energy can be used to harness that type of a process. Use it to set new goals, create some actionable plans for achieving them, and then get started on them. That's the thing. This energy, Mars opposed Pluto, is going to be exact probably for about, this week, right? It becomes exact on the 3rd. And Mars does move on. It doesn't move as quickly as some of the more closer inner planets like Mercury and Venus. So, but we'll have it active with Pluto. We'll be feeling it for about the whole week. And it is going to come back again in April, towards the end of April, and make its third and final opposition to Pluto. But if you can use this week, if you've got some New Year's resolutions or some things that you've just really been wanting to do, use it to get focused. Use it to drive that, that deterministic energy. Use it to create some solid plans. And then I would dare say start implementing them this week. Just, kind of use it to get that momentum that you need to get going in January. and try and hang on to it as long as you can. Just knowing that they're still out there, they're still fairly going to be opposed. It's just not going to be as strong as the weeks go on here. All right. Then, towards the end of the week on the 4th, we have the Sun making a sextile to Saturn. Now, the Sun making a sextile to Saturn is a positive aspect. It represents an opportunity for growth. It's not an aspect that's going to kind of be handed to you on a silver platter, sextiles, but there will be sort of an opportunity that presents itself out in your world. So, a Saturn sextile to the Sun represents the opportunity for you to take on more responsibility, for you to grow, for you to develop maybe a higher standing in something, get a bigger position. It's an opportunity to take leadership on in some area of your life. So, keep that in mind throughout the week. Know that it's peaking on the 4th, but it will be active, plus or minus the 4 or 5 days before or after it. So I think, New Year, great time for new starts, people going back to work, getting back to kind of the swing of things after the holidays. Just keep your antenna up and see what pops up and think about what you've been wanting to do. Maybe there's something new that you've been really wanting to take on, some growth opportunity. Just keep your eyes open and don't let the opportunity pass you by, because again, it's not going to be handed to you. It's going to be something that you probably have to notice and see and say, I want that. Pick me, I'll do it. All right. And actually, that is a really great segue for how you can take leadership in your life when it comes to the emotional realm as well. And that is by trying out Moon Chat. Now, as the moon goes around the earth every single month, it touches all 12 areas of your life, but it is only activating 4 of them in the 4 primary moon phases: the first quarter, the new moon, the last quarter, and the full moon. Moon Chat keeps track of which 4 areas of your life get activated each month, and it helps you work with it. So, if you are looking for more emotional guidance, more emotional clarity, the ability to bring in the emotion and have it occupy more of your life and have it influence you, but do it in an efficient way where it actually is something that you can maintain and can do throughout the year. I promise you, this is not a New Year's resolution that's going to go by the wayside. Go ahead and try out Moon Chat. Go to lauracusto.com, pop in your info, and I will send the details right to your inbox. All right, with that, thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, like the video, and share it with your friends. Until next time, soak up all this lovely energy of the Capricorn New Moon, dream big, and set some intentions that really get your soul excited.